Is that your security guard behind you? The gun behind you?
That's not a gun.
That's not a gun? What is it? I won't ask you again then.
They'll hurt you when they have to.
They or you? As a journalist, if I'm trying to get into these clubs and see how they operate,
I would say good luck.
Oh my goodness, that was a preview of the second season of the Emmy-nominated show Trafficked with Mariana Van Zeller, where she explores the inner workings of some of the world's most dangerous black markets and underground organizations. She joins me now live to help share what we can expect for season 2. Mariana, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
I heard you say once, in the battle between curiosity and fear, you always choose curiosity, and I'm fearful for you going into these situations. What makes you want to do this?
I think it's in large part curiosity, but it's also, we know so little about these black markets that we cover on Trafficked, and yet they really have an effect on our daily lives, you know, whether it's guns or drugs or scams, or we've all been sort of directly or indirectly affected by these black markets. So we realized that it was an incredibly important show to do, to gain access to these black markets and try to understand what the motivations are behind the people that work in them.
One of your very first episodes, tomorrow's episode actually, it goes into the underground movement of a violent white supremacist group, right? Explain what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, we dedicated a whole episode to white supremacy and the rise of white supremacy in this country. We started actually reporting about 2 months before the attack on the Capitol last year. We spent time with several groups, the Proud Boys and several other groups, including we spent time with people that a few weeks later actually were part of the invasion of the Capitol on January 6th. So the episode airs in the week of the 1-year anniversary, but we also went abroad and saw how these groups and these people are actually connected to a global network of white supremacy that is incredibly scary and growing.
Wow. I know you also often talk about shining a light on some of the things that you are investigating. Is there a light in this? Like, I hear all these dark, deep subjects, and I just feel almost hopeless. But do you find the good in some of this?
100%. I think one of the biggest goals that I have for the show, and it's something that I've learned with almost 20 years of covering black markets, is that no matter how far we travel to the edges of our society, you know, there's meeting these people that we consider the criminals, the outlaws, that they're still a way to connect, that we still find people that are redeemable and relatable. And I think that is an incredible thing. And I think that's the only way that we'll make any change in the world, is if we can sort of connect to the people that we think are the most different from us. So that's a very important goal for the show. You know, whether it's about drug trafficking or gun trafficking, I found around the world and with all these subjects that that we have actually much more in common with people than we have differences and things that separate us.
Yeah, you focus on the humanity side too. I loved, as a journalist, I love something else that you said. You don't cross the line when you're investigating, but you have to come back with chalk on your feet, right? And that was told to you by a professor in college?
That was a professor at Columbia University that once told me, you know, as a journalist, you never want to cross the line, but you have to make sure that you come back with chalk on your feet. And we do that. We take that to really to heart on this show. We're always walking with chalk, full of chalk on our feet.
Yes. What do you hope people who are tuning in, what do you hope they take away from all of your deep investigations?
I think most people don't know that these black and gray markets actually make up for almost half of the global economy, that almost half of the world's population is employed or makes money from these black and gray markets. And yet we know so little about them, you know, and part of our role as journalists is to inform so that people can have the right information to make choices, and so that governments can have the right information to make choices and make decisions. And so an important part of what we do here is to shine a light, to bring information so that we know what's happening all around us, even in the darkest corners of the world.
Well, I watched season 1, I caught up, and it's just thrilling. I'm scared for you, but it also makes it very interesting, and you learn so much. So, Mariana, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Ellen. My pleasure.
Again, you can catch Trafficked with Mariana Van Zeller on NatGeo and on Hulu.